In this week's video, I cruise to the beautiful city of Chester, I have a run-in with the law, a man screws me a new hole, and I get a tour of one of the most beautiful boats I've ever been in. So let me show you this other little hidden feature. You're gonna love this. Ahoy there, if you're new to the channel, I'm Heidi and I live aboard my narrowboat home, the Rum Wench, with my little dog Bonny. Join us as we travel the UK's canals and rivers in search of treasure and adventure. As you remember, the other day I cruised through all this horrendous weed and it was exhausting, and it took me nearly 4 hours to do 4 miles. And that was from Ellesmere Port to here, which is just outside Chester Zoo, which is a lovely mooring, but it is only 48 hours. So I'm going to set off further up today, hopefully get to Chester today or near to Chester. But I am hoping that this weed isn't as bad as it has been and we can get there successfully with no dramas. Oh, it was very exhausting trying to get all that weed off and that. Anyway, let's get the old girl fired up and set off. So we're now heading towards Chester, and it's a beautiful city with so much history, and it has the oldest racecourse and the largest Roman amphitheatre in the whole of Britain. Plus the cathedral there is over 1,000 years old, so I can't wait to take you there and show you around. It seems now all the weed has virtually disappeared, which is great, just the odd little clump. And we're only about 3 miles now from Chester, which is a city, it's a cathedral city, and it's in the area of Cheshire. And even though it's a city, it's got a smaller population than the biggest town, which is Warrington. But Chester is very beautiful, it's got some lovely black and white buildings, it's a great place for shopping, and it's surrounded by Roman walls, which are Grade 1 listed, and I think they're the best preserved walls in the whole of the UK. So I'm really looking forward to getting there, really. We're going to find somewhere to moor very shortly, but just coming up now on the right is Taylor's Boatyard, and it's the oldest surviving original boatyard. And it was built in 1795. Wow. And I've actually met the couple that run this. They're really, really lovely. You can see the amazing boatyard here on the right, which is still used, and then just to the left up there is Telford's Warehouse, which is another iconic building of Chester, built again in the 1700s. You've got to love the boating community. This space that I'm trying to get into is tighter than a nun's chuff, and this guy's come out of his boat here and he's giving me a hand. Yes, love it. With help from a fellow boater, Pete, managed to get into this lovely tight gap. Very, very tight. My front button is kissing the boat in front. But I've just met them and they're such lovely people, so everything's good. But I'm loving it here. It's a nice little mooring. It is 48 hours, so what I'm going to do, because I want to spend quite a bit of time in Chester, is I'm going to do 2 days here, go up the staircase locks and do 2 days there. That's the plan. So it gives me 4 days to properly have a look round and enjoy it. Well done, old girl, well done. So I have to say as well, I had a few problems then when I was trying to moor up. My gears aren't working as they should. I have this big fister that I push, which is here, and it was struggling a little bit, so I'm hoping it's just a little bit of weed or something. Nothing too drastic. But she wasn't feeling the same, put it that way. But anyway, I'm going to stay here now for a couple of days, and then I'm going to take you around Chester. So I'll probably do that once I've moved up the Northgate locks, because I'll be nearer. And it's just a wonderful city, this. So good morning. I'm going to be setting off very shortly just up these 3 locks here. It's a staircase lock and they do have CRT volunteers on, so it's going to be easy. And then I'm just going to moor at the top somewhere and spend another couple of days here in the wonderful, beautiful Chester. But before I leave, I can't go without mentioning this brilliant building here. It's called Telford's Warehouse. It's quite famous and it was built by that amazing engineer Thomas Telford, who also built the longest and highest aqueduct in the world, the Pont y Sutley, which I've also took you over. Yeah, the guy's a genius, and this was built in around 1790, and it goes to show that this was once a thriving, busy city port with industry back in olden days. But now, alas, it's like a pub and a restaurant. I went in there the other night and you can see actually the overhang where they used to load and unload the boats there. But also now it's a music venue. Big famous bands have played there, such as Coldplay, John Williams, to mention just a few. Anyway, I'm going to get the boat untied and we're going to be setting off up those locks. And we're off. I can't see you. Sun's right in my eyes. This is a thing this time of year now. The sun's always quite low in the sky, and it is early as well. But just these 3 staircase locks and then a short cruise, and then hopefully we'll be mooring up again. Only a little in today. But it's beautiful. It's cold, but we've got a lovely blue sky, which is nice. Makes a bloody change. The staircase lock is just past the bridge over there, round the bend and under another bridge, and luckily there's Canal and River Trust volunteers on, so I can stay on my boat, which makes a lovely change. There's something really sort of magical about these locks because they're nice and big, the stonework's beautiful, and you've got all the moss on the side of the walls. Lovely. But them gates at the front there, they're absolutely massive. The purpose of locks is so that your boat can go up and down hills, and the staircase locks breaks up one big lock into 2 or 3 smaller locks. The staircase lock's a little bit different to normal locks because instead of going from one lock into a pound to the next lock, the top gates on this lock are the bottom gates on the lock above. So you're going from one lock straight into the next lock, straight into the next lock. Very, very clever. And there's actually a boat in that next bit. Behind these gates here is another boat, and that's going to be coming down whilst it's filling my pound. So it saves water as well. And this actual North Gate locks, these set of 3 here, takes me on a rise of 33 foot. Quite high. Just wonderful. Such clever engineering from back in olden days, isn't it? So my boat and this boat here are gonna swap places. However, he's going down and I'm going up. It's just so clever. Hello. Yeah, are you? So that's the North Gate staircase done, and to find somewhere to moor now. That lockie was so lovely, so friendly and helpful. But we're all done. But it's beautiful, and we're going to be sort of cruising now through a bit of a cut-in next to the walls of Chester. It's very, very beautiful. I walked up here the other day with little Bonny. Gorgeous. So these are the old Roman walls, and it's just so clever how they've done it all on this big mound. It's all dug out. The city of Chester's just above us. Clever, innit? I always get fascinated by stuff like this. And here's an old turret or lookout tower, part of the walls. So I've just moored up and it's about a 1-minute walk to here, which is the city walls, but also all the shops. And I'm about to meet my mum. She's driving here and we're going to go for a little bit of lunch and have a sort of mum and daughter day and do a little bit of shopping. So I'm really looking forward to it. Hello. So I'm with my lovely mum and we're walking the walls of Chester. This behind me is Chester Cathedral, but there's actually been a church on this ground since the 7th century. Anyway, we're going to keep going now and exploring these walls. Chester it's just a really beautiful city, isn't it? Gorgeous. These city walls are the oldest, longest and the most complete in Britain, and parts of them are almost 2,000 years old. So this here is called the King Charles Tower and it's from medieval days, but it fell in disrepair in around the 1700s. But you can imagine it, can't you? Back in the olden days, the soldiers patrolling these walls, looking out for mischief, both on the outside of the walls and on the inner city. Yeah, but it's wonderful. But me and my mum now, we're just going to have a nice walk, catch up, and I'll try and show you little bits along the way before we get some lunch. The city of Chester was founded in 79 AD as a Roman fort, and it's so steeped in history. And while the origins of Chester date back to the Roman times, much of the city centre, the greatest part of the city, looks very medieval with all the black and white buildings. But despite their appearance, the majority of these buildings are Victorian. There's also lots of Georgian buildings too, which tower over you. It's just so beautiful. What's lovely about Chester is you've got these gorgeous cobbled streets that are good fun when you're riding a bike, but also these big Georgian houses. It's just a beautiful place to visit. And if you're lucky, you still might catch the odd Roman patrolling the streets. I've had a wonderful time here at Chester, and I've actually at the moment now, before I leave, I've got a guy in my rear entrance. If you remember a few weeks ago, I bought a new tiller. It's one of those ones that's lifts up. It's a bit of an action tiller, but it wouldn't fit because the holes didn't line up. So he's drilling me a hole so I can use that new tiller. And he's actually a bit of a celebrity, this guy. His name's Peter and he's from the band called Midnight Oil. They did a big hit called Beds Are Burning. And yes, and he's there now drilling my hole. It's amazing the people you meet on the canals, isn't it? And he's on a boat just back there, a beautiful tug. And last night we went for dinner, had a lovely meal. But here he is now, drilling me hole.
Did you tell your viewers that the very reason I'm on this canal is from watching your videos, that you did such a good job of selling it?
No,
that I had to come over, so I decided to do it. All because of Heidi.
Yeah.
Oh, and David Johns, of course. Everybody.
Oh, everyone loves David.
I watched all of David's.
Look at this. My tiller's on there. Thank you so much, Peter.
You're more than welcome.
Show me it erect. The tiller. Hey, look at that. Woohoo!
New knob.
Yeah, and loads of space there. It's brilliant. Won't be banging my head on that now when I come out the cabin.
Well, this one, you got to watch that one. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a lot further back, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we were just messing about then, putting this tiller on, and the police have stopped here.
Well, you have to check these nefarious characters out, don't we?
This is a view of the channel. I panicked then when I saw the police car pull up. I thought, oh my God, what have I done? Oh, lovely to meet you.
Yeah, you've done nothing today, you're quite safe.
So I thought whilst we were here, and I'm with Peter at the moment, we'll have a little look in his boat. He's got an absolutely gorgeous tug called Emily. So let's go and have a little look inside. So being a tug style boat, it's very similar to mine in the fact that you've got a huge big front on it. Now mine's covered, as you know, but this is a lovely big open deck. There's a big massive front hatch. Look at this, how easy it is to move. And I'm going to take you now in the front entrance. So how gorgeous is this living room? And what I love the best is the carpentry is all, well, it's all bespoke and handmade. It's very rustic and it's just so beautiful. I just love the worktops. Look at this sink, how beautiful is that? And those quirky taps with big knobs on. So there's no log burner on this, however it's all powered by diesel heating, and there's also like a bit of an Argo which is also diesel heating that Peter does all his cooking on. And through this door now is the bathroom. It's a walk-through bathroom which then takes us through into the beautiful engine room.
So it's a 1966 Gardner 2LW that was originally sent from Gardner in Manchester to a gold mine in South Africa, and it came back after it had been, used and probably finished up its service. It was rebuilt by Tony and Paul Redshaw at Braunston, and it's 28 horsepower. And it's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
So just through the engine room is the wonderful boatsman's cabin or back cabin near the rear entrance, and this part of the boat does have a stove, so if you do run out of diesel in the main cabin you can always forage some wood and keep yourself warm in here. But there's such lovely artwork and carpentry and brass fittings. It's a wonderful place to make as your office or to read a little ditty from the rear entrance. So at the moment this is like a living room space with a little desk, but what happens if you have guests to stay and you want to eat dinner?
Comes out.
That beautiful table.
Also I made this little block, and you can stand it on the steps. Just makes it more solid.
So isn't that amazing? You've suddenly then got a dining room table. But then also, let me show you this other little hidden feature. You're going to love this.
That goes there.
And there's your boudoir. Look at that, eh?
Make the bed in the morning.
Brilliant.
Doesn't take long.
So how fantastic is that? You've got your main bed there, you've got a dining area, then you've got your boatman cabin for guests. It's such a wonderful, quirky boat, and it's 57 foot, isn't it, this boat?
58.
58 foot. Yeah, I've fallen in love with this. I kept saying for ages I wanted a reverse layout semi-trad, but after seeing this boat, I think I might be sticking with tugs. So there we have it, the gorgeous Emily and the gorgeous Peter. Oh, but this boat, oh, I was so glad I was able to look around it because it is just unique, so unique, custom built, fabulous boat. Yeah, lovely. So I've been moored up next to these guys and they cook the same food as I make. Look at that.
Many hours later.
Obviously I'm back aboard the Rum Wench now, but that tug, Emily, wow, she's just stunning. Stunning tug. I like a nice tug. Anyway, when my mum visited, she brought some gifts that somebody had sent in. And it's, they left a note as well. So lovely, so lovely. They've been on holiday. And it's Mike, Laurie, Jacob, the Lazenby family. Thank you very much. And they got me this gorgeous mug. Here it's got a pirate on that side. It says, work like a captain, play like a pirate. Well, yeah, good words there to live by, bit of advice. And there's also a shot glass. Now, obviously, I normally always have my nipple glass, a little tin of rum from this one. So that looks bigger. So that might be better. But what I'm going to do is pour now a little bottle of rum, a little honey rum, into this and see if it takes more rum than the nipple glass. So this is a honey rum, and whilst I am pouring this, a huge thanks to this week's pirate crew. Which one am I going to pour it into? Let's put it into this one. Ooh, right to the top. And let's actually see now if it fits more in there. Oh, it does fit a little bit more. So this is my new glass. I've got quite a few shot glasses. They're just ace. You know when you get friends round, you have a little tit of rum. Yeah, and then this is the Old Faithful. I love this one. I've got two of these given to me by fellow boaters and they're just amazing. Yeah. I mean, you get an extra inch in that though, and an extra inch. You know, it's very important, isn't it, ladies? Anyway, let's say cheers. Cheers to the Tug Emily. Cheers to Chester. What a beautiful, wonderful city it is. I'm going to be leaving tomorrow, but you'll see that in next week's video. We're going to leave Chester. Anyway, and cheers to all of you. Woohoo! Oh, honey rum. Very, very nice. Very sweet, but gorgeous. Anyway, I'm going to join little Bonny now. We're going to watch a little bit of TV together. Chill out because we've got an early start in the morning. But if you have enjoyed this video, please do give me a big thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Subscribe down below if you haven't already. And before I go, as usual, a huge thank you to my lovely, gorgeous patrons. So that's it, guys. Please take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next week.